Welcome to the CQC video tutorial series. This is video 5, Scheduled Events. In this video, we're going to take a short step back from user interface topics just to avoid monotony and also to expose you to some other aspects of CQC that you might find interesting and potentially immediately applicable. And what we're going to look at today are scheduled events. We've seen actions in a number of places in the videos we've been through so far in this series. And a scheduled event is basically just an action that you have configured CQC to run at specific times or according to a specific schedule. Now, there are a number of reasons you might want to use these, and we'll look at two simple options today. Basically, your imagination is the limit. If we go to the Customize section of the administrative interface, which is the same area we've been working on our user interface content previously, if we look there, there is an Events section. If we expand that out, there's a section for scheduled events. And under that, there are the usual system and user sections. And we are, by convention, going to, once again, create our own scope for our own content. So I'll right-click and do New Child Scope. And as before with the user interfaces, I'll just call it mine. Call yours whatever is appropriate. And let's create a scheduled event to get started with here. I'm going to call this one Lights at Sunset. And you'll notice that it's grayed out, and this just means that it's paused. There's no content in it so far to do anything, so there's no point in actually running it. Once we've configured it, then we will turn it on. So let's double click it, and this gets us to the scheduled event editor, and it is fairly simple. At the top there is an option to select an event type, of which there are a number of choices, and then there is a title, which can be longer and more descriptive than the fairly short one that we would tend to use in the tree here. And beneath that is the actual schedule for that particular event. And this changes depending on the event type. In our case, we are going to use the type called at sunset, and we'll call it lights or exterior lights on at sunset. And actually what it allows us to do is to offset the action a certain number of minutes from sunrise or sunset. So really we don't want to wait until it's completely dark before we turn on the lights. So we will actually turn them on, let's say 15 minutes before sunset. And now we need to edit the action that's going to be run when this particular event is invoked. So use the edit button for that. And this is just the same old action editor we've seen so many times before. And we're going to do something very similar to what we've done before. All we need to really do is turn on some lights. So let's use the command button, devices, and the ubiquitous fill right command. And let's select the light that we want to turn on. In this case, we could do more than one set of lights, but I think probably just the exterior driveway would be appropriate. We might do porch as well. So let's do both. So I'll just copy that and paste it again. And if you hold down Control, it goes after the previous command. If you don't, it goes before it. It doesn't really matter in this case. And let's also select exterior porch. And in both cases here, we want to turn them on. So let's set that. I probably should have done that first, and then I would have got it in the copy. So now we are turning on two lights, or two sets of lights, when sunset occurs, or 15 minutes after sunset. So let's save that. And that's basically it. Let's save the overall schedule now. I just did Control S to save it, and I'll close that. And now I'm going to copy it and right click and paste it. And this one I will just rename and call Lights at Sunrise, if I could spell. And I will double click that one. And now basically we just want to change it to at sunrise, and we want to make it at 15 minutes after. So we allow sunrise to occur and for it to lighten up a little bit more before we kill the lights. And we'll edit this action, and all we really need to do now is just change the state, the same lights that we had because we just copied the previous event. And we'll turn those off. And now we have lights going off at 15 minutes after sunset. So let's save that. So I'll just do Control S, and now we can close that. And we can enable them both. Just right click and do Resume. And they are both running now. You can see that they're both ungrayed. So that's it. We've now set up an action that will run for us at sunrise and sunset to turn off lights and turn on lights. And it's basically that simple. At this point, you may want to try out some different scheduled events of your own and see what you could come up with. And you can probably think of many ways that you might want to use such a feature. So that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.